Hey, this is Tim with Expert Power Wash. Just finished up this brand new 8-foot skid here for Josh. This is one of the few skids that are staying out here local in the Portland, Oregon area. So our shop is located in Oregon City, which is just south of Portland, Oregon. So if you're out in our area or you're local or you want to pop into the shop to see some cool skids, we encourage you to drop on by. I'll put all our contact information there down at the bottom in the description. Let's walk around the skid and I'll show you what's on this. So here is our first 18-inch reel. This is our brand new Expert reel. This one has the upgraded stainless steel internals. So what I'm talking about here is one, the manifold. So this is a 316 stainless. If that was a regular steel manifold or a lesser quality material, that would not necessarily rust out, but deteriorate from the inside out. The hose reel handle is also stainless. The locking pins are stainless. Another very important component of having a good quality hose reel is the swivel here. So this is stainless as well. So let me jump down here and I'll show you. See these mounting systems that hold the manifold into place? All this is built very, very heavy duty. This, of course, is the brake. So if you tighten these up, you can actually slow down how fast the hose reel will reel out. Show you a few more things here on the hose reel, or what we put into this. So this is a 316 stainless steel barb. Of course, we have stainless hose clamps here. These are the Dixon clamps. So I see a lot of people use these clamps, and the screw here is actually not stainless. So we're very, very picky on the way we build things. We want everything to be high quality. You could probably get these things built cheaper, but we're probably not going to be your best option if you're looking for cheap. So on this hose reel, there is 200 feet of Softwash hose, 1/2 inch. And then we have our Softwash application gun here. So this is the ST510. Stainless steel nozzles. So you have 0 degree, 15 degree, 25 degree, and 40 degree. So these are all the different spraying patterns that you can spray when you're cleaning a roof or doing a building soft wash. Jumping down to the next component here, this is the downstream bypass. This allows the system to pull either chemical or water when you're downstreaming with the pressure washer. Next reel here, this is another 18-inch reel. In all of our reels, whether they're being used for chemicals or not, are all going to have a similar theme: stainless steel internals and swivels. This one has 200 feet of pressure washer hose, and we are using the Fierce Jet stuff. So something that makes this stuff really unique, it has a nice smooth jacket. It's non-marking. It's just good quality hose. This stuff is rated higher than what your typical one-wire pressure washing hose is. Get a closer look there. This is rated for hot water as well, so 310 degrees. On the end of all of our hoses, we put these ball valve swivels. It's important to note that we use a good high quality Mossmatic swivel. So even under high pressure, this thing is still gonna lightly swivel around. This stops your pressure washer hose from tangling when you're hooked up to a gun or a surface cleaner. The hose is just going to be able to turn real nicely with that swivel on there. Let's look at some plumbing. So right there on the left-hand side, that is your 1-inch drain. So by having a 1-inch drain, we're able to drain these tanks out really quick. Going on over to the next part of the plumbing there, that is a 1.5 inch Tiger Flex, really high quality hoses. And we use all banjo fittings, even the barbs, the bulkheads. One thing that we talk about, if you're watching this video and you've watched some of our other ones, those clamps right there, those are high quality clamps that we get out of the UK. They cost us quite a bit of money, but we have not found a clamp that actually clamps better than these clamps here. And they are a full stainless. You're probably starting to catch a trend. As much aluminum and stainless, chemical resistant. That's how we're building these things. We want to build them to last. At the end of the day, this piece of equipment has to make you money. And the last thing we want it to do is break down on you, because that would, of course, be our reputation. This top hose reel here, this is a 12-inch reel. So how these measurements are kind of calculated is barrel to barrel. So this is 12-inch. And then barrel to barrel here, this is 18-inch. So this is 100 feet of 3/4 Flexilla hose. If you're using a larger diameter or inner diameter hose, you're going to be able to flow more water into your buffer tanks. Of course, that's going to keep your machine well fed. Down here is our water fed pull hose. So I'll show you the water purification system as we get around this skid. But the water goes through some filters, purifies, goes out to a water fed pull with a brush with pencil jets, and you're actually able to clean windows with pure water. All right, this is our downstream rinse valve. So obviously in the middle would be off. So this is the chemical injector, hooks up to this, and then just tells the injector what to pull. So you can pull chemical or pull water. So this works really well for rinsing out the system. We have the gun all zip tied up to the back there. That little compartment that you're looking at there on the top, that is the surface cleaner locking storage container. So on these 8-foot skids, if it comes across in the video there, you got about a 16-inch kind of secret storage compartment there. So you can put extra hose, pressure washer hose, garden hose, whatever you want in there, and it kind of stays neatly out of the way. This one has 3 100-gallon tanks. Something I didn't mention on the other side there when we were talking about plumbing. The reason why these 2 tanks are connected, one is going to increase the water capacity, and 2, we like connecting these 100-gallon slim tanks. It aids in the ability to stop sloshing. So if you imagine the water was moving here or sweeping all the way through here, so it gathers a lot more movement when it's allowed to slosh in a bigger tank. Then of course in the back there you have 100 gallons for bleach. This is our EPW box in there. I think it just probably has all the invoices and extra parts, and you can see our interstate battery there in the back. These are high quality boxes made in the USA. 7-gallon soap tank. And then moving on over here, this is our Softwash system. So we have a 12-volt pump here on the back. It pulls in through the mixing system, so we're able to actually meter the liquids, chemicals, water, soap that's coming through there and fine-tune the mix. This is our custom-built gear drive Honda pressure washer. One thing we do with our pressure washers is we block mount the unloaders. So let me explain that. So this is typically where you see an unloader. If I could show you on one of these cart machines. So on these little ones, it's fine. You can mount the unloader coming off the pump. They're nice and light. It's not as much pressure and volume. When you're dealing with one of these bigger machines, it makes sense to pull that unloader off. This is 1/2-inch hose, and block mount it down here. So that takes all the stress off the pump, off the unloader. Works a lot better. Speaking of unloader, this is the Pulsar unloader. So this is a flow activated unloader or a soft pull unloader. So when you pull the trigger of our machines, the gun doesn't jolt or jump in your hands. So this is something that we've been doing for about 3 years now. We were using a K7 unloader, which we still love. This is just an upgrade over the K7. So really a really nice large unloader. The K7s are kind of at the top of their capacity with these 8-gallon-a-minute machines. The Pulsars have a lot more headroom on them. Let's take a look inside the skid here. One of the biggest things that you'll notice, besides that sold sign, is all the space here we have in the back. So with these 3 tanks, we have just about 2/3 of the bed space still available. It's one of my pet peeves when I see these things being built. If all possible, unless you're putting like a hot machine or another pure water machine in this bed, it's just way more beneficial to leave this open and empty. That way you can actually still use the truck and haul things if you need to get things out to a job. So that's our 13-gallon custom-built aluminum fuel tank there. You can see how it just tucks in to the side. Really maximizes the space here in this skid. And it's up high enough to where you don't have to take down your tailgate to fill up the gas. Just simply walk to the back and unscrew the cap. You'll notice that we have that on the driver's side. So if you park your truck in such a way, you can actually fill your truck and then go around to the back of the skid and actually fill up the fuel tank for your pressure washer. Now this is a bigger V-twin machine, so this does have a built-in fill pump in the pressure washer. It pulls fuel out of this tank. You'll notice in the back here we use a rollover valve, so this is a safety valve. So instead of putting another hose barb like this that goes into the pressure washer, we actually put a rollover valve on here. It's about a $30 upgrade. I'll show you. I don't have one handy, but there's a little ball on the bottom. So as the liquid splashes up, it pushes that ball up and it allows it not to splash and spill, but it also allows it to pull air. So that's really important with the fuel pump pulling fuel out of this fuel tank. If there was no air for it to breathe, then it would not work properly. This is the pure water system. So interesting enough, this was actually on a cart. This was the customer's, and they provided it to us and asked us if we could do something creative with getting it mounted in the skid. And take a look at that. For a used water purification system, I think this came out really, really nice. So we have a multi-stage sediment and carbon, and then into the RO, and then out through the DI. And we have a little pump system over here. So if we're looking at the back of the pump plate there, you'll notice that we have 2 on and off switches. So the way that this pump works here is it pulls water out of the buffer tank, pushes it through the filtration system, and then out through that hose that was over here on the other side, that pure water hose on the bottom, and then out to the water fed pole and the brush. So everything is all nicely put together, plumbed really well. We have the filter there to keep the pressure washer flowing good, keep all the sediment out of the pressure washer pump. There is the front of the surface cleaner locking rack. This is all aluminum with stainless steel locking latches and hinges over here. The way that we build these things, they're just heavy duty tanks. So these things aren't cheaply put together. Again, we want to build you equipment that's going to last, that's actually going to get the job done. And one of the biggest things that people miss when they're putting together a piece of equipment like this is the long-term easeability, if that makes sense, of ownership. Meaning, let's take a look at this. If I put all this stuff behind a nice aluminum box and I had stickers, all this stuff is prone to leaking. So let's talk about a few things. These are check valves. We use everything that we use on these mixing systems is upgraded. So the check valves, this guy right here that I'm talking about, these typically have like a stainless steel spring in them. And that is right now the industry standard. We use actually a Hastelloy spring in there. So it's an upgraded material over the stainless. I say all that to say this, that even though we're using better than what most people use on their builds, this stuff is still going to break down. You're pulling bleach through this system. Bleach is a corrosive. If it's not when, or if this stuff's gonna break down, it's when. So the reason why I like this stuff out, so we can work on it super easy, is you'll get a little bleach leak there, or here, or there. If I have this all closed in back behind something that you can't see, how are you gonna know that your system's slowly falling apart? So we wanna put this right out in front of our customers, people that are buying our equipment, so they know when they have issues. Common tall tale sign that you have an issue is obviously you'd see something wet on any of those fittings, but then as it dries, you'll actually see salt or white. So that would be a bleach leak. Same thing with the soap. If you see any leaks or anything happening there, you're able to quickly address those concerns. We've worked on different design ideas. We can build these a lot nicer, like I said, and put them inside of a box. Have nice stickers and decals. We have access to all that here. We have some great fabrication people. Just every time we've tried to do something up to this point, if it's not maintenanceable and you're not able to easily pull one of those parts and fittings out and easily change it out and get back to work, then all that fancy stuff's for nothing. Let me show you the pump back here. What I mean about maintenanceability of this. This pump here is on 4 pegs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything's on a quick connect. So the wire plug simply unplugs. You pull those 4 bolts. You can see that we're using flange nuts up against rubber. So this thing is stout. These bolts, you can't even loosen them by hand, but you put a wrench on there and loosen these up just a little bit. You can simply spin these off with your fingers, and we make our pump switch outs so they're able to be done in about 5 minutes. If you look at the barbs, these are on quick connects too. Simply pull this up, pull the hose out. The way that these are designed with Remco, these seal up really nice, but they're also easy to take off and change out the pump. Speaking of the pump, this is the new Remco dual control. Let's see if I can get that there in the picture. So these are considered dual control or smooth control pumps. They function like a bypass and a pressure switch working together. That just really smooths out the flow. They shoot better, they last longer, just all overall a better pump. All right, appreciate you guys watching the video. I'm going to put all my contact information down below if you're interested in a build like this. You can also go to our website, and again, I'll have this information linked below, pressurewashingskids.com. If you're out here in the Portland, Oregon area, and you want to come check out some of the builds that we build out here, stop on in. If you like to schedule an appointment, do that as well. If you guys are still tuned into the video, I'm going to give you a little preview of a crazy skid that we just built. I'll have a full walkthrough of this one soon. But if you're still here and you watched the whole video, throw a comment down below. Let me know that you've seen this crazy skid. And if you're still here, you get to see something that most people don't until the other video comes out. Check this out. 14 gallons a minute. This pump runs off of a lithium 24-volt battery down there. This is a really, really cool skid going out to Texas. Hot water, pier water, 2 pressure washers. Just a really slick skid. So we have some of these on our website. They're called the Double Trouble. But I think we're going to call this the Diego. All right, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope everybody is getting ready to have a great season.